family, my name is Elysia English and welcome to my soon-to-be new craft room. And while I'm working on the renovation in this room, I thought that it would be an amazing idea to upcycle some IKEA chairs that we got when we first moved here to our home. As many of you know, if you've been following my channel, we purchased a home completely abandoned, and when we got here, we had zero furniture. And since everything was in lockdown, we had to order just a few things online to get us through until we could start designing and working on some of the elements of the house. So I purchased a table set from IKEA, and I have 3 of the chairs from that set that I want to revamp to be able to use in this craft room. These chairs have seen better days over the last 2 years of us renovating and moving them around inside and out, so they definitely need a revamp. So here are my very plain and very boring IKEA chairs. One of which was left outside, one of which was chewed by the dog, and one I cheated and I have already started to paint the first coat of primer on. So what is the plan to revamp these chairs and give them a totally new look? Since I like to upcycle things and I don't like to throw anything away, I know I can save these chairs and make them look incredible. I love Hudson Bay Co. Problem is, this room isn't very big, and some of the inspirations I've seen online for Hudson Bay Co. inspired chairs much too large and much too costly for this on-budget craft room makeover. So I'm gonna add a little Hudson Bay Co. inspiration to these chairs and see what I can come up with. First thing I need to do before I start any furniture flip is to make sure that everything is really clean. You don't want to start any project when you're going to restore something with a dirty item. So let's give these the scrub they really need. When cleaning furniture I plan to restore, I always use a water and TSP. Once cleaned off, I decided to use a 100 grit sandpaper to kind of score all of the edges to help my paint adhere more. Before painting, I need to make sure to use a good quality primer. These chairs are already looking so much better, even with just the first coat of primer. What a difference a little bit of white makes. This is actually a really fast drying primer, which is one of the reasons why I actually love using Zinsser. I think because it's very almost chalky feeling, it just dries so fast. So even when working inside right now, I was able to have these dry in less than an hour, which is a much needed time saver when you have a few coats to paint when you're going to make something white. One of my biggest pet peeves that I always notice when I look at other furniture makeovers, especially when you see things listed online for sale, is that people don't take the time to do the added details of making sure that the underside of the furniture is painted. So if you are restoring for something for yourself, and you decide you don't want to take the time to do it, then go for it. But if you're going to plan to sell something online, make sure you flip your furniture in every possible direction that you can flip it in to make sure that all of your surface areas are completely painted, including your primer, to make sure that you have the best durability on the entire piece. So this took me a lot of flipping and flopping, but we have everything covered and we are ready now that this first coat of primer is dry to apply our paint. And because I want to do all this completely on a budget, I didn't go out and buy any special paint for these chairs. I'm just going to use some plain white interior paint, the same paint you would put on your wall. And then I get to add the character that I want to add to these chairs. If you're planning on painting a lot of furniture, you might want to invest in a paint sprayer. I actually do own a paint sprayer, but don't love the mess that comes with using it. Since the weather wasn't really that cooperative today, I decided just to use the brush to paint my chairs. It's gonna take me a little bit longer, but I know that since I've got lots of practice painting furniture, that I can get these pretty smooth in the end. And since they're going in my art room, I'm not overly concerned about making sure that they're completely perfect, although I do want them to look really nice. So if you are using painting furniture to be able to sell it, or you want a really finished piece, using a sprayer is going to give you the best results. After about another hour and a half, I have all of my chairs painted with their first coat of white. I plan to do a second coat in about an hour when they dry. While I'm waiting for the chairs to dry, I thought it would be a great chance to share with you about something I'm really excited about that we're going to be starting on our channel. We always say on our channel, we rise by lifting others. And so we thought that it would be very fun to be able to add something new to our channel that involves you, our YouTube family. We're going to be starting something called Feature Fridays. At the end of our videos on Fridays, we're going to do just that, feature one of our YouTube family members. You guys are always sending us so many videos of your families watching our videos together and being inspired by our DIYs and home renovation projects. You even send us videos of your adorable pets being inspired and watching our videos. So we thought that it would be an amazing opportunity to help rise up one of our YouTube family members each week to be able to showcase a creative or DIY project that you're working on. Don't worry, these videos do not have to be perfectly edited or even be an award-winning DIY. They just have to show that you're being inspired or any type of creative video that you want to send to us to be featured. Feature Friday gives you the opportunity to be able to submit a video that's 30 to 60 seconds long. In the link down in the description, we'll show you where you need to send a video for us to look over. And we will choose someone to feature each Friday, maybe some weeks even more than one feature, to be able to rise up one of our YouTube family members. This is a great opportunity for us to be able to share your projects and encourage and inspire other people to see the work that you're creating as well. So if you're interested in submitting a video that's no longer than 60 seconds, follow the link down in the description to be featured on our Feature Friday. After waiting for the chairs to dry for quite some time, I made sure to let them cure as long as possible. I'm going to take a few materials and create the Hudson Bay Coast stripes on my chairs. So I picked up some brand new painter's tape. I like to use the blue tape when I'm doing things with furniture. I'm going to use some of these little white makeup wedges. I buy these at the dollar store and they're honestly the best ones. They're not very porous and so it really helps keep down the bleeding. I'm going to also show you a really neat trick on how you don't get bleeding underneath your painter's tape, especially if you want to do something like adding a pattern or stripes to your furniture project. These cosmetics wedges though are honestly the best I found yet. So if you can find this package at your local dollar store, they work the best. I'm going to do a little acrylic paint lines on them for the Hudson Bay coat using just some craft paint. This is just acrylic. And the stripes for the Hudson Bay coat go green, red, yellow, blue. And so I have my colors ready here to create my stripes. I'm going to be working backwards with my stripes. So I'm going to start with my blue one first, then do yellow, then do red, then do green. That way I have the colors in the correct order. But in order for me not to get bleeding with my painter's tape, I need to do this little trick that I just used the same color as the background with my wedge to be able to sponge over the actual spot that I'm going to have my color. And so I'm going to blot off a little bit of this white paint, and this will take a minute to dry in between, but trust me, it's worth it to not have the bleeding underneath your tape at the end. So whatever your background color is, if it's navy blue, choose navy blue. If it's green, choose green. Mine is white. So you won't really be able to see it on camera, but I'm just going to dab over that area. And what that does is it seals the edges of the tape with your background color. So if anything's going to bleed underneath the tape, it's going to be the color of your background. So you're not going to see it. It's kind of a magical trick. You can do this exact same thing if you're using vinyl on painted signs or anything else like that. This is the trick to not have bleeding underneath. So if I'm going to use blue for this stripe, blue would probably be pushed underneath the tape. But because I'm sealing it with this white, the white is what goes underneath the tape, and then the blue will sit in between. So I have my first two colors on, my blue and my yellow, and I am about to do my red. So what I'm doing to get the exact spacing is I'm just overlapping the one that I already did, so I'm just letting it dry, creating that thicker white chunky line in between, just like you have on the blanket. And here are my freshly revamped Hudson Bay Co. inspired IKEA chairs. I think they look adorable and they're going to be so cute in my new craft room. So now what I need to do is try to be patient and wait 24 to 48 hours before I put on a really durable clear coat. I usually like to use a satin polyurethane or a satin polyacrylic to make sure that these are going to have the lasting effect that I'm hoping for the work that I put into these chairs. And so I think, especially since they're going to get bumped around in this art room all the time, that we need to make sure we have a nice thick protective coat or a few protective coats on the chairs. But let me know what you think of the chairs. I think they turned out amazing, and the total cost for this project was free, other than a fresh roll of painter's tape, which I will use for many other projects. Let me know what you think of the chairs. I think they turned out absolutely adorable, and to be able to make over things on a budget, I am all for it. If you're new to our channel, I encourage you to hit subscribe and follow along on our DIYs and home renovations. I love you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next episode.